Hello, Mary. Hi, Robin. Hello, hello. Happy New Year. Oh dear, I need to turn my volume off on my computer. Okay. Hey, Marilyn. Barb. Hello, hello. Janice. Lois. All right. Happy New Year. Who's ready for some awesome technique talk for 2023? Hey, Rosie. Wait, is that Roseanne? Rosanna, is that you? I can't see the little picture. It looks like it. Yeah, I'm excited. I've been doing some research on some new techniques I want to try to show you. So today we'll start out by a technique that I used on the Michigan project this past Saturday. And hopefully you will get another use out of your dies that you've purchased. Working towards that. Use it for 3 different things goal when you buy something. So we'll give it a minute, see who else is going to pop on. If you guys are thinking about some techniques that you'd really like to learn more about, message me and let me know. Maybe we can work something out. All right. So, as you're popping on, say hello. I love to know who's watching. We are going to talk about, like I said, a technique that I did on the Michigan inspiration that I did this past Saturday. And it was using dies, these Thinlit dies, to emboss. And I have a little sample here. I used our custom Michigan dies on a background that I did for a card. And I thought I'd just share it with you because honestly, it is so easy to do. I'm not, it depends on the machine that you use. I use a Big Shot, but any die cutting machine that you use with your Thinlits will work. The only difference is going to be the sandwich. So I'm not necessarily going to talk about the sandwich. You might have to make an adjustment from whatever sandwich you use with your Thinlits because you are going to add the silicone mat. And when you add the silicone mat, what that does is it doesn't allow the die to push all the way through the paper. So this is just a piece I was cutting up my silicone mat. It's an old one that I had from one of the companies. I can't remember if it was one of the original Sizzix ones, but these are the silicone. This is a piece of a silicone mat because, like I said, I was cutting it up, trying to play around with the layers. Renee just placed an order for some of the Sizzix silicone mats. If you use a Cuttlebug, the Cuttlebug has one. Gemini's, I know, have one. It's just a silicone mat. They're typically about 1/16 of an inch thick. That's how thick the Sizzix one is. And you might be able to get away with a single layer of your silicone, or you might have to fold it in half and double up the layer. I personally think, and this is not a proven fact, I think that it depends on how new your die is. Because if you used it 600 times, it's not as sharp, right? So these are brand new. These are from our More Michigan Rainbow Wishes Stampin' Die set. These are the little clouds. This is what I had laying on my table, so this is what I used. So this is a piece of the Ranger Tim Holtz watercolor paper that's just cut into a small piece. I was testing to see if I could figure out a way to use my Sidekick, but you can't really do a sandwich, so you can't really adjust anything. So it makes it a smidge more difficult. So what I did was just took this piece of paper, and this is what I use on my Big Shot. Okay, I'm not gonna go too much into it. I've got I hate this platform, but it's the one that came with it. I've got it all twisted around. So for my sandwich, for this particular die, and it's different for different dies. When I used the Michigan die, it was different. This is the main base, and then there's these two flaps. This is what I don't like. I don't like these connected flaps. So I don't want this one, right? So what I had to do was flip this top one around this way, and it kind of makes this a little cockeyed, but because I don't want this to be in my sandwich. So I've got my my base plate, and then that is what I use on my Big Shot, the base, and then the thicker of the flaps. This is a thin one that I don't use. And then because this is a new die, I'm using 2 layers of silicone. So I put those down first, and then I put the paper, and then, whoop, you can't see very well, can you? And then you put the die on cutting side down. So it's going to cut into your silicone, okay? So you're going to put your die, whatever your die happens to be. It can be bigger. It could be a bunch of little ones that you can, if you only have these 2, like, look, I ran it through again to get another cloud. So you can run it through a couple of times. And then your other cutting pad, whatever they call these things. And here is your sandwich. All right, I'm putting it in my Big Shot off screen, so you don't have to watch me run that through. And there you go. It didn't cut all the way through. So now you have these clouds embossed, and you can leave it with a really deep emboss like this, but if you were going to add another cloud, say you were going to put this on here, and you run it through again, this is going to smush down a little bit. So it's still going to be embossed. It's going to look like this. It'll be a little bit not as raised, I guess. And what's really raised is the back where it was going to cut. So it's going to flatten out a little bit. Okay, so you've got this nice emboss here. I'm just wiping off the little dirty bits from my mat there. So can you see how that's nice and embossed? And then of course, when you ink it, you really can see. Yeah, this is just with the ink I have on my brush that I was using, but this just lets you see what is really embossed. So there you go. You can make a nice cloudy sky with these. So you just don't have to stamp and cut or just cut clouds. You can also emboss with your dies. Awesome, right? Anybody have any questions? Do we have a couple of sneaky stalkers in the background that aren't saying hello on our first Technique Talk Tuesday of 2023? Who's on? Say hi. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. Anybody have any questions? The hardest part of this whole technique is figuring out the sandwich on your machine. It really is. And like I mentioned earlier, you might have to do a shim. You might, like I said, you might have to double up your silicone, which means just folding it in half. And I also did mention that we actually should be getting the Sizzix silicone mats in, I'm going to guess this week or next, because Renee just threw them on her order this last time. So if you want to get one, they'll be in stock very soon. And of course, these clouds that I used for this are from our custom stamp and die set, more Michigan Rainbow Wishes. Marianne's asking, have I ever done any jelly plate printing? Yes, absolutely have. We do that also every once in a while in our Mixed Media Marvels, which is a mixed media art journaling group that I run that meets once a month on the last Sunday of the month, Mary. And it's funny that you say that, because I think what we're going to be doing when we meet just this month in January, we're going to be working with our jelly plates. So yes is the answer, the very long-winded answer to your question. Robin's asking what I say that you can emboss with any type of die. This particular technique would be with any thinlit die. So do you mean like any manufacturer? Because I have done it with a couple of different ones. It's all just about testing before you do it on your project, because depending on how new or used your die is, I think that the cutting part of the die, you know, I've got dies that I've used literally hundreds of times, and those aren't as sharp. So I might only have to have one layer of silicone. But if I've got this one, these clouds, I've only used once. So they're brand new and haven't really been worn at all. I think that might be the reason that I had to use 2 layers of the silicone, because they're not worn at all. They're thicker. So they push through, because the sandwich is full, I guess. Does that answer your question, Robin? And then Marianne's asking, and can you check into the mixed media group for us? Yes, you can come to the mixed media group for a one-time trial before you join for it's $10. That is what our monthly fee is for the group, Marianne. So if you wanted to sign up and test it out this month, you can come, pay $10, participate. I'll let you know what supplies you need, and then if you love it, which everybody who comes usually does love it and end up joining, then you can join and meet with us. We are having an influx of new members. It is so exciting. I am thrilled with all of the new people that are excited about mixed media. I absolutely love it. Mary is asking, can you use regular 80-pound paper? You could, Mary. I think you might need to, for sure, use a double layer of the silicone mat and test it. I found that the embossing works a little bit better on a thicker mixed media or watercolor paper. I've only tried the watercolor. You could probably do the heavy stock. The mixed media would work really well too. But, well, hold on. I have a piece of 80-pound paper right here. You just hang tight. I will try it right now. This is a piece of... I'm just working on Lawn Fun Kit. So this is a piece of 80-pound Nana. Let me run it through, okay? I will answer your question with confidence in just a second. La 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 la. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment, or listen to me la-lying. I'll be done in 1 second. Let's see what we get. Here it is. It did not go through. So the answer to Mary's question, can you use 80-pound paper, is yes. And that was with a double layer of silicone, only because I had to use a double layer with the watercolor, so I knew I would with this. Let me show you. Put a little inky dink on here so you can see. There you go. That's on the 80-pound. All right. Anybody else have any questions that I can answer? Nope. We did our first reveal of Gnome of the Month in the last couple of days. Everybody got to see their January gnomes who's a member of the club, and gnomes are ready for pickup, so we're very excited about that. If you want information on Gnome of the Month, check out, there's a lot of chatter about it on the Facebook page. There is a pre-order link on the website that you can find and read all about it. Don't forget about our birthday bash card making event coming up on January 21st. That is going to be a super fun event. And make sure that you keep checking our Facebook page for all the new and fun and exciting things that are going to be coming up soon. All right, everybody, if there are no more questions, we will call it a night. Hey, Barbara. I didn't see you sneak on, you sneaker. All right, everybody. Well, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. And we will be chatting again next Tuesday for Technique Talk. Or else I'll be seeing you in the store. Thanks, everyone.